Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I really wanted to talk a little bit more tonight about this conversation I just had with Danielle about femininity and actually broaden it to a little conversation about masculinity as well, because I've had numerous different conversations with people, probably lots of you do, about this topic, about femininity, about masculinity, and about whether we can be feminine or masculine in today's world. I think whether it's since World War II, when lots of men went off to war, or Vietnam, when lots of Americans went off to war, and you had to kill people, you had to be strong, you had to not feel the emotions of what would normally happen when you're in that kind of a situation. I think that changed people. A cousin of mine came back from Vietnam and had PTSD from whatever he did. He never really, frankly, to me at least, talked about it a lot. He would wake up in the middle of the night and go for a run to try to escape his thoughts, his dreams, his memories. I can't imagine how harrowing an experience being involved in war is, but I do think that what it did is it took away a lot of men's right to feel empathetic, to feel, to express emotion. And there was this real movement towards sort of the lone cowboy, the very strong masculine guy, the guy that could deal with anything, that could be cold. And then I think that sort of the definition of what it was to be a man changed a little bit. And then whether it was that during that time period, a lot of females ended up working in factories and they got the vote. Females got the vote and then they worked in factories, and then they realized that they could work and be financially independent. And then they got the pill, and then they got women's liberation and freedom and the opportunity to divorce. Both men and women got the opportunity to divorce, no fault divorce. And all of a sudden, the definition of being a feminine woman changed, or at least a woman changed. And I think that, there was this trend toward men being even more masculine, if that's the right word, and females losing some of their femininity and being a little bit more masculine. And then Danielle today talks about how a lot of females still want to be feminine and aren't comfortable with that loss of femininity, that they do want to have a job, they do want to have independence, financial independence, they don't want to be second-class citizens in any way, shape, or form, and they don't want to be subordinated in any way, shape, or form, but they still want to be feminine. And I think a lot of men want to listen, want to be empathetic, want to show emotion, want to feel emotion, don't want to have to be strong and cold all the time. And so I think that we've just got to let people sort of be a little bit masculine, a little bit feminine, and they'll be happier. And we need to be less sort of typecast. And I think that we've seen this movement a lot where, we've got these men weekends and retreats where they can talk and they can feel and they can and do masculine things, but do it with other men such that they feel comfortable talking and expressing emotions. Because I think a lot of men do want to do that, and I don't know if you call that feminine or empathetic or feeling. I don't know, but having to be sort of the only strong person in a family or in the room or in a relationship is probably not what they want. And then at the same time, I think a lot of females that I've met, particularly ones that are in business and successful, often divorced, define themselves as a financially independent person and a successful individual, but they still want to wear a dress. They still want to curl their hair. They still want to be feminine. And they want to be treated as feminine at times. And so I think there's this interesting process that we're going through as a culture. I'm reminded by that Ted Lasso scene, and those of you that have listened to me a few times, you'll know that I love that series, and I quote Ted Lasso quite a bit. But Ted Lasso and Rebecca, the owner of the soccer / football team, are having a dispute because Rebecca finally admits that she tried to ballistic missile, effectively trying to destroy Ted's opportunities to make the team successful. And they talk about how divorce is difficult and it makes people do strange things. And I think Ted wanted to be a little bit more feminine, and Rebecca, a little bit more empathetic, a little bit more feminine, had difficulty being so cold and strong and dealing with it all the time. And he needed to change the scenery. He needed to move to a different city. He needed to escape what was going on to be able to deal with all of his negative reality. And Rebecca was faking that she was this very strong, independent person, but she wanted to be in a relationship, wanted to be loved. She wanted to be feminine. She clearly wanted to get back at her ex-husband, but she wanted to be able to still be a female. She still wanted to be feminine. And I really think that that's an interesting process that a lot of us go through, where men want to be able to show emotion, and women, while wanting to be financially independent, still want to be feminine. And I think Danielle talked a lot about what that's all about. Anyway, just a couple thoughts that I thought I'd leave you with before the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. A week to go before a lot of us celebrate Christmas. I guess last night was the last night of Hanukkah. I hope everyone has a great holiday season. Thanks. Good night, everybody. I remind you, by the way, I'm on every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM. You can stream me online at saga960am.ca. Good night.